Hello, Hofstra fans, and welcome to another WB Mason Coaches Report with Courtney Veinotte, the head coach of Hofstra Field Hockey. Morning, Coach. How are you doing today?
Good. Happy Tuesday. How are you?
I'm good. Happy Tuesday, right back at you. It was a split weekend for Hofstra Field Hockey. You started off with a 5-2 non-conference win over Drexel this past Wednesday, and then you hosted Northeastern on Sunday, and it was an unfortunate 3-1 loss. Let's go back to the Drexel game for a bit. It was an offensive explosion for you guys. 5 goals, the most scored all year by the Pride. Looking back on it, what are your thoughts on your win over Drexel?
Feels like forever ago. But it was a very well composed Hofstra field hockey game, and absolutely controlled and took advantage of all the opportunities we had in the circle. And that's something that we've been really working with and working on. Ultimately, it was really good to see many people get on the scoreboard, and Juna Slort with a career high. I think we did a really good job of taking our first game against Drexel, correcting, understanding, and kind of changing our momentum and showing growth between those two games. It was a very well controlled game. That both teams were patient, and both teams were playing kind of a calm, take advantage of circle opportunity style of play. It was a well played game. So it was really exciting. I think it was good for our players to feel growth and to see growth happen, and that 5 goals was the energy was fantastic on Wednesday.
Yeah, I agree. Just as an observer, it was definitely a good vibe. I think it also helped coming out of, you're coming out of a pause, and it's your
Yeah.
first game in 10 days, and whoever's in front of you, it's Drexel. Okay, let's take our frustrations out on Drexel for not playing for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, a rainy Sunday, unfortunately, it was a 3-1 result against your team to Northeastern in a conference game. Looking back at the film, and giving it a couple days to marinate on it, what did you see from the Northeastern performance coming off of that Drexel game?
Yeah, it was actually the almost exact opposite of our Drexel performance. It was a very intense, very kind of high strung battle between both teams, and not a well controlled game in the sense of many fouls, many for both teams. The competitiveness was it created an urgency to the game, and almost like a franticness for both teams. And although it was a 3-1 decision, the third goal, or the second goal for Northeastern, came just 30 seconds or so left in the third quarter. So that brings you into that fourth quarter with some franticness, and having to settle the team down, and your 15 minutes and your 2-minute discussion in the quarter break ends up being a different discussion than it's an even ball game. Let's settle things. Let's hold the control. It ends up shifting things up a bit. So, the fourth quarter was tough. It was, we were trying to settle things down, and ultimately, they slipped in another one. So a 3-1 decision. It didn't feel 3-1 that game. It felt, tie ball game all the way through, and very tough battle. At the end of the day, one thing I just am continuously proud of this team is the fight that we have, and it's right to the end, and believing that we can do this and we can earn this. And so that's one thing I'm genuinely really proud of this group, is the relentlessness that we have to find success into every minute of the game we're fighting. So I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one thing where you give up that first goal, and then you give up the penalty stroke, put your heads down, and just try and fight it off. Just try and fight it off. And then, but your team, I think they're, like you said, they're very resilient. They're okay. We gave up a goal. Let's put one back.
Yeah.
And, like you said, going into that fourth quarter, if it's still tied 1-1, it may have been a completely different game had that penalty stroke not happened.
Yeah, definitely a momentum shift. And that's something, we've got a young team, and it's something that we are working on, is controlling momentums of games. And that comes with confidence too, right? So, learning that we can control the game, and we have the skill level and the tempo and the experience now to control the game. It's coming along, and unfortunately it just didn't like fully come along for Sunday. But we're getting there.
Yeah, yeah. Rome wasn't built in a day. It's as cliche as that sounds. It takes time. To build a program, to change. Getting accustomed to winning a lot. And then coming into this week, Friday, Sunday, it feels like forever since we've had like a weekend series. You're going to be
Yes.
at Towson and at Delaware. Those are two very tough opponents to end the season. What can you say about your upcoming opponents this weekend?
Yeah, it's been, an interesting go for both teams. Towson's in growth mode, and they're doing really well. They knocked off Northeastern at Northeastern. They're competing very strongly and hard right now, and so they're going to be a tough opponent on Friday. And we're having a travel day of, we're competing day of, we're going to have to show up and be road warriors. So it's going to be a tough game, and they're relentless for success as well, right? So they're working for every win. And um, you know Delaware on Sunday, Delaware's had a tough go. They've been in pause and out of pause, and so they've missed some conference games. And anything can happen. It's any conference game, right? Anything can happen, and it's all on who shows up to play and compete and controls the game. And so we're looking for 2 wins this weekend. We'll always be looking for wins. And um, it'll be fun. It'll be an exciting double weekend. We actually said the same thing, Nick. We were like, it feels like forever ago that we played a double weekend. So something we're looking forward to.
That's good. It's good to have that mindset of, all right, let's put this past weekend behind us and do what we got to do coming up.
Yep.
So it'll be this Friday, April 16th against at Towson, and it'll be April 18th this Sunday at Delaware. You can find out everything you can on gohofstra.com for Hofstra Field Hockey. For the head coach of Hofstra Field Hockey, Courtney Veinotte, I am Nick Capitos, and thank you for joining us for another WB Mason Coaches Report.
Yes, thank you.